Using Canvas, an introduction for students. When logging into Canvas, students will use the NCEd Cloud login. Your school website will have a link. Here, where it says username, you'll type in your student ID number, sometimes known as your lunch number. Make sure you know that. Then, once you type in your username, you're going to type in your password. The NCEd Cloud default password is also sometimes called the complicated one because it has upper and lowercase letters along with numbers. When you have trouble logging in, someone at your school can help reset your password to the default. For this reason, it's important for students to learn that password. Swapping it out for an easier one is not the best choice because if you ever run into trouble, it will always go back to the default. Learn the default password. Write it down, put it somewhere safe at home so you can have it to go back to. It's also important not to have it auto-save on a computer. If you auto-save on one computer and then go to a different computer, then you haven't remembered the password and you're back at square one. After typing in your NCEd Cloud password, the very first time you use NCEd Cloud, you'll have to get past the security questions. So fill those out, and you'll come to a screen like this. You're going to click on the red canvas icon. Here are some basics of viewing in Canvas. This is your dashboard. It will show all of your teacher's classes. If your teacher has not yet published a class, say it's the beginning of a term, you won't see it. But then once it's published, you'll see it. You can view it in different ways. This is the card view. Over here on the side, notice you have courses. You can search a course that way. You can also click on Calendar. Calendar is useful because your different classes will be color-coded. So if you have assignments, like let's go to the month view, if you have assignments, then it's going to color-code them and have the day that they are due. And then when you click on them, it can take you directly to that assignment. But the default when you come into Canvas is the dashboard. So let's click on a class and go inside and look around. We've now come into a class in Canvas. We are currently viewing it through the student view. This is an account that the teacher has of a pretend student. Some of the normal ways a student would navigate are not available in the student view. One of the first things you'll notice is that you have the ability to collapse and expand the menu. Home is always going to be at the top. Your teacher decides what the home page is. It could be the modules. It could be an opening page like this one. In Canvas, the teacher decides what's viewable in the navigation menu. So some classes may have different links, and the teacher has set it up that way. The student view over here on the side has some to-do items. You'll always want to ask your teacher, how should I access my items? Many teachers use a module way of doing things. So let's click on the modules. It's always helpful to navigate around to see the different ways that things are arranged, because from one class to another, it can be different. So this teacher has an Achieve 3000 for the term 4 that they're in. Here is a prehistory pre-assessment, a prehistory unit. You can't get into this unit until you take that pre-assessment. And then things here are arranged by dates. So this teacher tells the students, make sure that you go to the modules page and look at the dates. That's how things are organized. Clicking on Home, we go back to that main page. This teacher has also added buttons that take you to the different modules. So let's say you're studying China. Let's click on China. It jumps over to the module page and then takes you down. Now, currently, this pretend student has not yet taken the pre-assessment on China, so the China module isn't open yet. So the student would need to do that. In assignments, if your teacher has enabled that in your menu, you can go through and search for certain assignments. You could go by the grading period. You could also start typing in a word. Maybe your teacher gave you an assignment about mummies. So if you started typing in mummy or mummies, those items would pop up here. But I notice these items are closed. So the time to turn them in is past. When you click on that, here are the teacher's instructions. It shows when the assignment was open. It also shows when the assignment was locked. So be sure to look at all this information as you navigate to different assignments. This pretend student is going to go take his pre-assessment, and then we'll be able to get into the China unit and explore some more. Give me a second. Welcome back. Our pretend student, we'll call him Danny Pink, has completed his pre-assessment on China, and so now assignments in the module are open. Let's click on this assignment. You'll notice due dates. You'll notice the availability of the assignment. And what type of submission is it? This is using a program called Kami, where the teacher can embed a worksheet and students can complete them, mark them up, highlight them, enter answers, and then submit them directly here in Canvas. There are various ways to navigate through assignments. If I've submitted this assignment, I can press the next button and it will take me to the next item. Here, my teacher has a link. It looks like it's broken, but if I click right there, that will open up into a new window. That little symbol right there means it opens up into a new window. So here's another assignment. Looks like I'm going to be working in a group on this one, and I'm going to be submitting a website URL. Lots of times teachers will give you specific instructions on how to submit different things in Canvas. In this case, when I press the submit button, it comes down to the bottom and I would type in a website URL. Of course, I'd probably just paste it in. And then once you are ready to submit that website URL, you press the submit button. Just ask me if I want to leave because I've not actually submitted the assignment. If I press home, it can take me back to the main page. This teacher has set it up so where announcements appear on the front page, and there's also an archive of those announcements over here under announcements. Let's look at the grades so far. Now, this is a pretend student. And currently, this student doesn't have that good of a grade. He has a 0.56. In this class, we can look at the different weights. 50% is classwork, 15% is in the performance category, and 35% is in the test category. There are some other categories that do not count. So here we have the various assignments. If there's a score, the due dates for the different assignments. You can decide how you'd like to arrange them. Maybe we're in a new term, so you should go to that assignment and click Apply, and it will show you all the assignments for this current term. You can sort items by assignment group, so all the classwork together, all the tests together, all the performance tests, by the different modules the teacher has created, by the title of the assignment. There are lots of ways to navigate. One useful tool is, well, let's look at this example from a different class. So as we look here, here is an assignment that was submitted. The student got a 0 for. But right here is a little speech bubble. And so when you click on the speech bubble, it says that on the 19th of August, the teacher put a comment in that you'd submitted the wrong screenshot. So I encourage the students, if they submit something and they get a low score, or they get a 0 on something because maybe it was not submitted correctly, I encourage them to go in and look at the feedback and get those things resubmitted. They have a long time for that to happen. I'm more than happy to regrade things if they're submitted correctly and kind of scroll down and different assignments, you know. Again, this being a pretend student, I just put in a grade, but that would be an example of, make sure you're following the correct instructions for the screenshot. I tell students not to worry about assignments that have nothing there, like not a 0. These were optional things. A student would know they were optional by looking in the modules listing. It's not, you can't designate that from here on this page. Also, I wanted to show you kind of how students can get back to the original assignment. So let's say, for example, here's that assignment that they did not submit an appropriate screenshot. They can click here. And what this would do is it would show them over here on the left side if they had submitted a screenshot. There would be comment from the teacher. Now, across the top is like a nested, address, a path to get back to places. There's the class, their assignment group. If they click here, which is the title of the assignment, it actually goes back to the instruction page. Here we are back in our social studies class. Over here on the left, for the global navigation buttons, you see an inbox. Teachers can send students messages directly in Canvas. So if you ever see a number here, you will want to check because you've got a new message. Let's click up here to Account and look at Notifications. Notifications is something you're going to want to manage because notifications can be set up. So when a teacher creates an assignment, changes the due date of an assignment, grades an assignment, you'll get notifications in your school email. That can be overwhelming. Also, you can start to ignore notifications when you get so many. So go to Notifications. Perhaps turn them so they're just there once a day, or weekly, or turn them off. Some students also have their Canvas inbox messages sent directly to their school email. Teachers don't always have that turned on. So keep in mind where you're sending a message to your teacher. Is it in the Canvas inbox? Is it in your school email? So manage your notifications so you're not overwhelmed with lots of automatic notifications in your school email and you then miss an important personalized message sent to you. Don't feel overwhelmed if you're having to learn a new learning platform. Perhaps you've used another one in the past, and so Canvas is completely new. We're all learners. Your teachers will be helping you every step of the way. We're all learning new things each day. It's what makes us better. One important takeaway to remember is that Canvas navigation can vary from Canvas course to Canvas course. Become familiar with how your teachers organize their courses. They may be different. Always reach out to your teachers if you have a question. They'll help you navigate through Canvas.